All to my Afrikaans-speaking followers, welcome back to everyone else. Yes, it has been a bit of a hot minute. Obviously, the podcast with Pierre and I, we haven't done that in a bit. I've been doing the weekly breakdown with Colin. He lives in Denmark. He's originally from the Munster region of Ireland. And there really hasn't been a whole lot out of me. Out of the guy whose namesake is on his channel, the Fairweather Rugby fan, also known as Keith Rugby, also on the internet now, has not been a whole lot out of me. And I had a pretty nice little farm here, nice little audience, and then I kind of, it kind of petered away a bit. And obviously, life happens, these kind of things, and I just kind of felt like jumping on here and kind of giving everybody an update. You guys. Some of my followers, you guys saw me go through hell. The dissolvement of my relationship, but then you also saw me meet Jess and get married, and just kind of all the I guess screwballs that life can throw you at times. You guys have been there through thick and thin of it, and I feel like kind of giving you guys an update what's going on in my life. Currently, the Bulls are playing. I can hear it on the telly in the living room here. I'm here in my office/studio. So, for those of you that know, I worked for a German company for many, many years. You already got the worked when you go past tense. For over 13 years, I poured my life into a company, and about 3 weeks ago, I was informed I was no longer employed. Pretty devastating news, obviously. I'd been there so long. I had holiday time. I had a pretty, was making pretty damn decent money, and they just kind of laid me off out of the blue. And the reasons for it, I could go into it, but the fact of the matter is I just don't have that job anymore. It's a position that, they just didn't have a place for me anymore. So I immediately kind of went into survival mode. I debated telling my wife that she should just move back home with her parents because I didn't want her to go through the hell of being unemployed in this country. I love America, don't get me wrong, but like in a place like Texas, like if you apply for unemployment, it might be 6 weeks before you get your first check. The safety nets are really not here in this country. Once again, love America. I would rather be middle class and rich here, but if I was poor, this is not the place I would want to live. Not having health care. Luckily, I don't have to go through the not having health care because I am insured through my wife's company. And I ended up finding a job pretty quickly. Like, we're talking like less than 24 hours after I got let go. I had a job interview, had a job offer. I am an Amazon delivery driver. This is not a career. This is just a paycheck. I really don't know what I want to do. I really don't know what I want to do next. I'm 42 years old, and I really just don't really have... I'd love to talk about rugby for a living, but that's not really happening right now. So, but there was that. I've also... I ballooned up pretty bad weight-wise. I am now down, as of the recording of this video, about 17 kgs. It's not through diet and healthy living. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am one of the millions of people that I've gotten on Ozempic. I have gotten on Ozempic, and it works. And it works well. I might eat once a day, one real meal a day, and then I might eat a small dinner. It doesn't have any terrible side effects other than just the fact that you just don't really eat that much. And unfortunately, in the position that I'm doing with Amazon, I'm burning calories, and I'm burning them fast. It is a very physical job. The vehicles that you drive for Amazon are air conditioned. They are air conditioned, but when you're getting in and out, it doesn't really matter because the cool air just goes out as soon as you open the door. We are getting... This week, it's supposed to get into the upper 30s, low 40s a couple of days. So definitely be sweating it out this summer. I'm figuring by mid-July, I will be I'll be looking pretty damn good. I'll be looking pretty damn good. It's a different company. Like I said, completely. Obviously, everybody knows who Amazon is, but the drivers are all done through contracting companies, courier companies. And I went from working with fairly, professional office type people to, guys with like face tattoos. They're not bad people. It's just completely opposite of what I'm used to working in a very professional environment. These guys are, probably couldn't crack it too well in that world, but very nice people. Obviously, like I think my second day, I wore my Springbok hat to work, and I mean they've all guys who've never seen a rugby ball or touched a rugby ball in their life. They now have, because whenever we do our morning meetings, I usually have my rugby ball with me, and I'll kind of just be tossing it in my hands because it keeps my hands nice and limber. So, like I said, not a career, but it can lead to other things, and I believe that it will. Just because I just have so many other skills that can be utilized at this. And I mean, like, that's just kind of how it always was. When I left my company for that year I left it, I started out entry level and was on a fast track to management. It's not, I'm not an entry level guy, but I don't mind being entry level at this. It is, like I said, it's very difficult work. I think typical driver a day will have somewhere between 180 and 200 stops and sometimes upwards of 400 pieces in their truck. But like I said, it's not bad. I don't have a boss over my shoulder when I'm out on the road. It's just me working, and I've been doing some pretty decent neighborhoods in the North Dallas area, so it's not like it's really rough, trashy areas where I've got to worry about assault or anything like that. But it is what it is. I do have a completely different schedule now. I no longer am off on Saturdays and Sundays. I am now off Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So I will work 4 9 to 10 hour days and then have 3 days off. Obviously, being Saturday, this is my last day off. I did that on purpose because Saturdays are for rugby, as we all know, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, that's kind of what's been going on. Just trying to get back on our feet after that. And we were looking to move. My wife and I were looking to move. And then the day I got laid off was the day we were supposed to put our deposit down on the move. And obviously didn't do that because I got laid off. But, I always try to land on my feet with my wife. I told her the truth. Like, hey, I debated telling you, like, futsec, get the fuck out, go back to your parents. And she's like, I'm not going anywhere. You'd be coming with me if it got that bad. But she knows me. It wouldn't get that bad. You guys know me. I work. I always work. I don't like, but like I said, just kind of a new job, new environment. I've been there. I guess this was my first full week alone in a truck. I went through the training for a couple of days, and then I did a ride along for a couple of days. And then this last week, and then Wednesday in particular, was a pretty tough day because it was, I had a pretty heavy route. And like I said, completely different working environment, completely different personalities to work with. Me being on my own so much at my last job, there was no call for help. And that kind of got me in trouble because I was a little bit non-communicative. But this one, it's like, these guys are like, you can call us for help. It's not like, we're not going to scold you. And they were like, because of the kind of person you are, everybody seems to get along with me really, really well. It's a very multi-ethnic workforce. We've got everything from, Pakistanis that speak Urdu to Vietnamese to Iranian to, good old American people, whatnot. Kind of a funny story. You do your load in, you load your own truck, everything's on carts and you just load it in. And there was a gentleman that walked up while I was doing a load in who had dreadlocks, obviously a black guy with dreadlocks. And I proceeded to say, like, Rasta bomba clot, what the blood clot? I know that sounds hilarious, guys. And he starts chuckling and he's like, man, I'm from Louisiana. It was a funny, everybody laughed about it just because it was like, I'm not trying to be like offended. He wasn't offended by it, but he just thought it was funny that, like, oh, the new goofy white guy at my company thought I was a Jamaican. I mean, he wasn't offended, like I said. He just thought it was funny because he's like, man, I'm from Louisiana, man. I'm not Jamaican. But like I said, it's a good work crew. I get along with everybody pretty well. But like I said, they will not take my Saturdays away from me because, that is always for rugby. We're eagerly counting down to the end of June when the Springboks will be taking on the Babas, the Barbarians, in Cape Town. I will be back with Pierre. I will be back doing this. It's just a bit of a transition time in my life right now with a new job. And yes, it's a bit stressful, but I think that's for everybody. Nobody likes starting a new job. But I do appreciate you guys for kind of still supporting this, kind of sticking around through thick and thin with us. And we'll talk again soon. Cheers, guys.